Something happened at Dover Motor Speedway that has the entire NASCAR world split right down the middle. Because one emotional moment, one difficult race, and one radio transmission just turned Natalie Decker into the center of one of NASCAR's biggest debates. And now people inside the sport are saying completely different things. Some believe Natalie Decker was unfairly pushed into a situation she never should have been in. Others, they think the truth is much tougher than that, because after Dover, one NASCAR insider completely unloaded, and not everyone agrees with what he said. Let's get into it. Friday at Dover Motor Speedway was falling apart for Natalie Decker almost immediately. Green flag drops, race starts, and instantly, problem number one, NASCAR hit Decker with a penalty for pulling out of line too early before reaching the start line. Pass-through penalty. Already a rough beginning, but then things somehow got worse. While serving that penalty, she sped on pit road. Second penalty, back-to-back mistakes. Then later another problem. NASCAR Black flagged her truck for failing to maintain minimum speed. At that point, the race wasn't just difficult anymore, it was unraveling, fast, and then came the radio communication that changed everything, because fans expecting anger heard something very different. Natalie Decker sounded emotional, overwhelmed, fighting to hold everything together, at one point saying she was trying her best to keep it together while also saying, "I don't want to keep doing this."
You guys, I'm trying my best to hold my shit together, but I still don't want to keep doing this.
And immediately the NASCAR world exploded. Some fans called it a meltdown. Others saw something completely different. Not frustration, not excuses, but someone hitting an emotional breaking point. And honestly, when you look at Natalie Decker's career, you understand why. Because racing has not been easy. Not even close. For years, she has fought uphill battles trying to establish herself. Results haven't come consistently. Finishes near the back have stacked up. Criticism never stops. But here's the part. People forget. Natalie Decker can drive. She proved that years ago. Back in 2020, she delivered the best Truck Series finish ever by a female driver, 5th place at Daytona. That's not luck, that's talent. But talent alone doesn't guarantee success. And Dover showed exactly how brutal NASCAR can be. Then things got even hotter, because after the race, NASCAR Cup Series spotter Freddie Kraft stepped in, and he did not hold back. Speaking on Door Bumper, Kraft made his position crystal clear. He believed Natalie Decker was blaming the wrong people. He pointed directly at the penalties. Pulled out too early. Penalty speeding on pit road. Penalty driving below minimum speed. That's on the driver, not NASCAR, not race control, not anybody else. His message, look in the mirror, and NASCAR fans exploded all over again, because not everyone agreed. Then came Kenny Wallace, and his response, completely different. Wallace wasn't angry, he was concerned. He admitted, he felt bad enough that he nearly called Decker himself. But then he pointed somewhere else entirely. The schedule. Kenny Wallace believes Natalie Decker is being put in impossible situations. Dover Watkins, some of NASCAR's hardest tracks. Wallace basically said, why throw struggling drivers into the deep end? Instead, he wants reps, smaller tracks, more racing, more confidence, more development, build skills, build momentum, build consistency, before jumping back into NASCAR's toughest environments. And honestly, that's where this debate gets really interesting, because both sides make valid points. Freddie Kraft says accountability matters. Kenny Wallace says development matters. One side says ownership, the other says opportunity. And now NASCAR fans are asking one big question. Is Natalie Decker being held back by mistakes behind the wheel, or by the path being built around her? Because Dover wasn't just another rough finish, it exposed something bigger. Pressure, expectations, confidence, and the brutal reality of trying to survive in NASCAR. Because talent gets you opportunities, but surviving this sport, that's a completely different challenge. Now I want to hear from you. Who's right? Freddie Kraft or Kenny Wallace? Drop your thoughts below.
Something is seriously wrong with Kyle Busch. And what Richard Childress Racing just did behind the scenes, it's sending shockwaves through NASCAR. We're not talking about a bad race. We're talking about a moment that could change the entire future of one of NASCAR's greatest drivers. Because after what just happened, people inside the garage are asking a question nobody dared to ask before: is Kyle Busch running out of time? Let's rewind. When Kyle Busch joined RCR in 2023, it was supposed to be a fresh start. After leaving Joe Gibbs Racing, this was the comeback story. A two-time champion, 200-plus wins across NASCAR's top series, one of the most dominant drivers of his generation, and for a moment it looked like it might actually work. But since then, results have been inconsistent, wins have been scarce, pressure has been building, and now everything is boiling over. Because this latest moment, it wasn't just bad luck, it was a disaster. The engines are roaring, the field is charging, and Busch is trying to find rhythm in the number 8 car. Then suddenly RPM spikes, temperature climbs, engine detonates, just like that, power gone, momentum gone, race over. The car limps to pit road, hood goes up, and what the crew sees: catastrophic engine failure. Not a small issue, not something you bounce back from. This is the kind of failure that kills your race, kills your points, and kills your confidence. And when Busch steps out, you can see it. Not just frustration, something deeper. But here's what fans didn't see: what happened after inside the garage. Because according to reports, the conversation between Busch and RCR leadership, not calm, not quiet, not friendly. Serious questions started flying. Was the engine properly prepared? Is the equipment good enough? Can this team actually compete at a championship level? And here's the thing: Kyle Busch is not the type to stay silent. While all this was happening, RCR made a move that caught people off guard. And suddenly this isn't just about one engine failure anymore. This is about direction. This is about trust. This is about the future. Because when a team starts making moves like this mid-season, something bigger is going on. The internet exploded, fans split into two sides. Busch deserves better equipment. He's not the same driver anymore. And then the wild theories started. Timing felt suspicious. Questions about internal politics. Rumors about deeper issues. Crazy maybe, but in NASCAR, silence usually means there's more beneath the surface. Now let's talk about what this really means. Because this isn't just about one race. ADNF right now, it's huge. Points, lost momentum, gone playoff chances, shaken. But more importantly, it creates doubt. And in racing, doubt spreads fast. Through the driver, through the crew, through the entire team. And now we get to the real issue. Kyle Busch is on a multi-year deal, but NASCAR contracts, they're not always permanent. When results don't match expectations, conversations happen. Quiet ones, behind closed doors. And the move RCR just made, it suggests those conversations may have already started. So now the question is this just a rough stretch for Kyle Busch, or is this the beginning of the end of his time at RCR? Because one thing is clear, something inside that number 8 team is broken, and when things start breaking in NASCAR, they don't fix themselves overnight. Let me know what you think. Is Kyle Busch being held back by RCR, or is this just who he is now? And if you want more NASCAR drama, deep stories, and insider breakdowns, hit subscribe, because this story, it's far from over.
What if I told you the hottest team in NASCAR right now might also be the most questioned team in the garage? 5 wins, 9 races. A stat we haven't seen since 1987. And now, fans, drivers, even insiders are starting to ask the same thing. Is this dominance or something else? Because after what just happened at Kansas, NASCAR might not just have a championship battle on its hands. It might have a full-blown controversy. Let's start with what we know. Kansas Speedway, Advent Health, 400 Tyler Reddick delivers again. That's 5 wins in just 9 races. To put that into perspective, only 4 drivers in NASCAR history have ever done that. The last one. That's not just impressive, that's historic. But here's where things get complicated, because while Reddick is rewriting the record books, something else is happening behind the scenes, and it's getting louder every single week. Now the race itself, absolute chaos. Reddick starts on pole, barely edges out Denny Hamlin by 0.019 seconds. They go side by side, they even make contact early. But then Hamlin takes over. He dominates, leads 131 laps. Controls the race. It looks over. Then late race. Everything flips. Reddick takes the lead. Looks like he's got it locked. Then disaster. His car runs out of fuel. He's done, right? Wrong. He switches to the reserve pump. Barely keeps it alive. Hamlin flies past him. Win secured. Or so we thought. Because then, Cody Ware spins. Caution comes out. Overtime. And just like that, everything resets. Final restart. Larson dives low. Hamlin gets stuck. Reddick sees an opening. Last corner, he makes the move. And steals the win. And just like that, Reddick wins again. Michael Jordan is celebrating on pit road. The team is on fire. But Denny Hamlin, he is furious. Because this isn't the first time. Back-to-back Kansas races. He's led nearly 300 laps and has nothing to show for it. And this time he didn't hold back. It's Cody Ware 6 laps down wrecking. That's not frustration, that's boiling over. But here's where this story takes a turn. Because the real conversation right now is not about the finish. It's about 23XI Racing. Let's rewind. In 2024, they sue NASCAR, massive antitrust case. By late 2025, NASCAR settles. Big payout, permanent charters, more control. Then, suddenly, 2,026 hits, and they're unstoppable. Daytona, Atlanta, COTA, Darlington, Kansas. 5 wins, 9 races, and now people are talking. Not officially, not confirmed. But the chatter, it's everywhere. Fans are pointing at unusual straight-line speed, insane corner grip, lower tire wear, cars looking just a little too perfect. Some are even claiming they're nearly 3/10 faster than the field. That's not small, that's domination. And then the accusations get even louder. Hidden aero advantages, ballast tricks, undetectable tweaks. Even broadcasters and drivers are starting to hint at it. Not directly, but enough to make people wonder. Now, to be clear, there is zero proof. No failed inspections, no penalties, no investigations. Everything is clean. And Reddick, he's shutting it down. We race what NASCAR gives us. Simple as that. And honestly, there's another explanation. Stability. Last year, this team didn't even know if they had a future. Now, they're locked in, funded, focused, and fully committed. And maybe they're just better, but here's the reality. When you win this much, this fast, people start asking questions. That's how NASCAR works. So now, the sport is at a crossroads. Is this one of the greatest runs we've ever seen? Or is there something we're not seeing yet? Because until NASCAR steps in, this isn't going away, and it's only getting louder. So what do you think? Dominance or something deeper? And for more NASCAR drama, breakdowns, and behind-the-scenes stories, hit subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.